Hi, friends. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Katie, and welcome to Okay, but Did You Know? A podcast where we talk about the TV and media that we love with a friend who's never seen it before.
Today, we're recapping and chatting about Once Upon a Time, episode 404, The Apprentice. This episode aired on October 19th, 2012. It was written by Andrew Chambliss and Dana Horgan and was directed by Ralph Hamaker. Now, before we get into our recapping and chatting, let's go over a synopsis for The Apprentice. In the Enchanted Forest, Anna's adventures finally bring her to the castle of the Dark One. He makes her a deal that he will tell her what her parents were after if she puts a potion in the tea of a man far away. When Anna meets him, she sees that he's not as evil as Rumpel led her to believe, and she can't go through with it. But when Rumpel finds out the deal was broken, he threatens to lock her in his tower unless she kills him. He needs Anna to be tempted by her inner darkness, and when she contemplates his death for her freedom, he gets what he wants: access to the sorcerer's hat. Anna is able to escape, stealing the hat as well, and leaving Rumpel right back where he started. And in Storybrooke, Henry and Regina are looking for ways to help with Marion's freezing curse. As they hit dead end after dead end, Henry realizes he can help his mom with Operation Mongoose and get answers from Mr. Gold if he goes undercover to be his apprentice. Meanwhile, Emma asks Killian out on their first official date. When he accepts, he goes to Mr. Gold and blackmails him into giving him his hand back, but not without a warning. The hand belongs to the man he used to be, and with it could come darker tendencies. Their date goes well, if only with a few interruptions and incidents that make Killian fear the Dark One's warning was right. When he demands Gold return his hook, he only agrees if Killian helps him with something. Together, they go to the home of the Sorcerer's Apprentice so that Gold can trap the apprentice inside the hat. Now Gold has blackmail material on Killian, and they're at a stalemate when he returns Killian's hook, and admits that the warning was all a lie. All it did was give Killian permission to be the man he once was, a selfish pirate.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Yep,
that happened.
we have thoughts on the world's. I got, and this is exactly what I said the last time when I did the stats rewatch. This is the world's stupidest placebo effect.
It really is. But I think you'll appreciate my first note
Please tell me.
was just a long time ago. That helps with the timeline.
What's funny is this is before they did put in a very specific time card that was 100% incorrect.
Oh my God.
That happens in season 5. So like even before that, they were like, if we're not sure, let's just be wibbly wobbly with it. But it is from a long time ago because it's Zoso. So this is a couple
Yeah.
hundred years before everything else.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I am enjoying like the sorcerer stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's not Rumple. So like, there's those beginning notes of like figuring out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I just wrote, wait, this is bad. That hat is of course powerful, and fucking Rumple has it.
Uh-huh.
Like, oh shit. Like this is so like I'm loving that the Snow Queen. Love the Snow Queen.
Yes. We love Ingrid.
This
Ingrid's
is
the
so much
best.
more this is so much more interesting to me.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fair because we don't know why like
Yeah.
because right now it seems like we're getting two like parallel stories. We're getting the Sorcerer's Hat and we're getting the Snow Queen, which to be fair, the Sorcerer's Hat is part of our ongoing storyline of the entire
Yeah.
season. Ingrid is more self-contained, which is why like in this case we're seeing how Anna fits back into Arendelle with Ingrid. We're seeing how she gets back basically. That's the whole point of the flashbacks here.
Mm-hmm.
But her specifically is not as important right this very second. Next week she will be.
Yeah, like we're getting the backstory, which is good. It's like we're getting background story for everything and how it's tied
Yeah.
in together. But
Mhm.
like I find this so much more interesting. Um, I did write the line. I've retained my youthful glow.
Yes. Shouldn't I be the one asking you out? Shouldn't you be old fashioned given your age? What are you like 300? Curses and Neverland have given me experience, but as you can see, I've retained my youthful glow. And we love Killian knows his worth. That's all we can say.
He really does. And then I of course freaked out. I'm like, he has Hook's hand. He saved. He saved a hand.
Oh, I have fun facts about that hand. Don't you worry.
But like, I do like that Hook does see Rumple for who he is, and I'm enjoying
Oh
the
yeah.
back and forth between the two of them. It's very interesting. But then we get to the date,
It's a cute date.
and I go, Emma, what are you wearing? It's
Yeah.
so weird.
No, it is, and I wrote down a thing because this is something that I see towards this latter part of the season of the show, really. So seasons 4 through 7 or 4 through 6, really, because they always say, and it does make sense that a lot of times we can see Emma's relationship to like her emotional walls with what she wears.
Yeah.
So, using the leather jacket as armor, even the fact that, like, we have seen her wear dresses before because she was wearing a leather dress in that date with Walsh from 312,
Oh, and then also, like, the first episode, she's in her, like, great
the pink dress.
I thought it was red.
It's a hot pink.
But the style made more sense. Maybe it was more
No.
so, like, this was like a baby doll dress.
Well, this was more of a dress that fits, and this fits the I don't know what's the phrase I want to look like the timeline aesthetic of costumes in Storybrooke, because the Storybrooke costumes, for the most part, for most of the characters that like were cursed to be there, they gave it a very timeless aesthetic by making all of it more or less 1960s coded.
Mhm.
So it's not it's this is something I say a lot with the costumes that they use on Emma specifically, of their attempt to modernize things for her. They almost always still get stuck in that 1960s kind of look, which on Emma just feels very off. On everyone else, it feels
Yeah.
good. On Emma, because she is a more modern character, it feels very off. But the thing that they really like to hold on to is as Emma becomes more emotionally available, her walls come down, she dresses more femininely, which is not a bad thing, but they really just go from leather to pink very quickly.
So fast. And this wasn't like a hot pink. It was baby pink.
Like you can have that metaphor with a less intense spectrum shift.
Yeah.
So and that can kind of continues to happen. Like we'll see with more. I have more commentary about more outfits in season 6, but that's for the end of season 6.
Or that I just wrote, "Damn, Killian. Damn."
It's a really, really good modern outfit for him. So unfortunately,
Oh.
that's the last time we're gonna see like Captain Hook pirate outfit in Storybrooke.
I have no complaints.
He's in the black leather vest and the jacket and the jeans the rest of the time, which I'm sure is more comfortable for Colin.
I mean, they at least gave him an episode. We're like, "We're just gonna let you have both your hands. Enjoy having both your hands." It makes me
Like,
think of when I watched all of, iZombie, and they reached a
mm-hmm.
point where they kept making episodes where she had to make herself look human, so she didn't have to wear the wig and all the
Yeah.
makeup and everything else, and I'm like, they're just giving her a break after all these years.
I cannot wait until I go through my fun facts because I got something really funny to say about that.
She's hot. I mean, he's hot, man. I
He,
damn.
he's a very attractive man.
I know. We're not I can't help that I'm bi, okay?
I can see that he's a conventionally attractive man, and he's very
That's not even
pretty.
conventional. That is just damn.
I think
Um,
it's the eyeliner.
it's the guy liner. Like, you mix that with the leather jacket and the jeans are nice. The jeans are nice.
The jeans are nice, and also I think this is a case of so Colin, for the most part, his beard is a lot lighter than his regular hair color. They dye the beard,
Oh,
so I think like it's because it so matches like the dark hair a little better. I think that just helps his jawline a lot,
yeah.
like the darker facial hair.
I did right. What else do you make biscuits with other than flour?
Well, that was the point. The joke. Well, the joke that the rumor was that he eats children, so they're made with flour
Yeah,
rather than they're made with the bones of children. I guess is the reference he was making.
so fucked up.
A little
I
bit.
have the most random out of pocket complaint.
Tell me.
I just wrote, I hate the pasta kiss thing. Just eat your damn food.
No, it was
It
so
makes me
bad.
cringe. I'm like, no, stop. That's not cute. I know it's probably like a Lady and the Tramp type like homage,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I'm like, ugh, no, just eat your
No, it
food. I
was
don't want no.
it was so uncomfortable. I did not remember. I remembered it being there, but I don't remember being that close to the camera.
Ugh.
Um, but yeah, no, that restaurant is supposed to be Tony's from Lady and the Tramp. That's the
Yeah.
idea.
Like, I got the reference, but at the same time, I don't want
Mm-hmm.
that, especially the close up. Like, it's different if they were showing like a nice, like, distance shot,
Mm-mm.
kind of like a la Lady and the Tramp, but they didn't do that. They
No.
had it right up on their faces and they got the noodle, and I'm just sitting here like, oh, no.
It was a really
Why?
thick pasta too.
Yeah, it was like a linguine.
Yeah.
It was weird. Like, could
Don't
we not?
like I get that it's a cute aesthetic, but it just doesn't I mean like I've never tried doing it with somebody in person,
I
but
never
like
will.
it doesn't it doesn't seem like something that's as enjoyable as like television and media tells us it is. Like
Like, I don't
the sharing a milkshake is cute. That I'm okay
that's
with.
cute.
A singular strand of pasta betwixt no, I can't do it.
'Cause, like, there's sauce, like, there's sauce. There
Well,
has to be sauce.
that one did not have sauce. That one was just a plain noodle.
Uh, all I can think about is, like, I love my husband, but I would never do that with him. It just no,
I would do anything for love, but I won't do
don't
that.
do that.
That's what Meatloaf was talking about.
Exactly. Like, I want my own plate of food, I'll eat my food,
Mystery
we can
solved.
make out later, like,
Yeah,
'cause
exactly.
I'm also weird about PDA, like, I'll kiss my husband in
Yeah.
public, but people who, like, get down to, like, "I'm gonna go and try and suck your tonsils" level of PDA, I'm like, "Please just go to your car. Go to your
No, the
car, go home. I get it, you love each other, but
the
no, thank you."
the people like we'll see like I'll see like these videos every once in a while that's like making fun of like the couples in like amusement parks like in lines that are like so like entwined with each other and
Mhm,
like what's really sad is that is so painfully accurate to what you see like in like couples like in
mhm,
line like in on like in like roller coasters whatever rides in Disney World like it's upsetting for a multitude of reasons. One is it's just too much closeness for public in general, but B, you're in Florida, you're in Disney World. You've been on rides, you've been around people. It's been hot, it's been humid. I don't care what time of year it is. It's one of those two things.
mhm.
You've got to it's like especially if you're doing this at night, you've been sweating and
Yep.
gross for like 8 hours. Cuz like I and like you I there's a limit to how much physical connection I want with somebody after that much sweat is all I'm going to say.
No, I'm with you on that because, like, while I haven't been to Disney, I live in Georgia. I've been to Six
Mhm.
Flags in Georgia in the summer with my
Yes.
husband. It's one of our favorite things to go do from time to time. When we first started
Mhm.
dating, we had memberships, like, we love roller coasters. We didn't like, we maybe held hands while we walked around, but we are adrenaline junkies, so for us in
Mhm.
line, we're, like, bouncing up down, waiting for the line to go. There were
Yeah.
lots of lines, like, if you're there at a certain time, like, there are no lines. I think there was one time we went, the park was so empty, we rode the Batman, like, 5 times in a row. Like,
Ooh, nice.
we love doing this stuff, but, like, we
Mhm.
haven't since we had our son. But, like, it's so hot. Like, I'm from Georgia. Florida and Georgia, our climates are pretty much the same, for the
Yeah.
most part. And, like, it's a little bit more swampy, I would say. Like, I actually technically live pretty much near swampland.
Yeah.
So, like, I know like, that's my life.
Mhm.
Uh, no, you sweat so much,
Like
especially in the summer.
I say this like every time we go to Disney or go anywhere and like it's hot and sweaty. Like when I take a shower after we get back, it's always because up until that point I don't feel human until I've washed
Mhm.
everything off. Like no touching,
Yep.
not happening.
That shower after you've been in an amusement park all day, though, and if you're in a hotel, then, like, I love that, though. Amusement park, I can speak, all
It's
day.
fine.
That good shower when you get back and just laying in,
Mhm.
like, the hotel AC is one of the best
Yes.
feelings in the world because 'cause you're always a little bit sun-kissed,
Mhm.
at least, because I know you and I are the same. We put
Yes.
plenty of sunscreen on. Um,
Mhm.
so it's always such a good feeling.
The last thing, and then we'll get off
Yeah.
the tangent in a second. But the last time we were in Disney, this was my favorite part of the entire trip we were there. Because we all had that thing, we all took showers to kind of get relaxed, whatever, and then by the time everyone was done cleaning, my brother was like, "Anybody want McDonald's? I'm hungry." So, we Uber eated, I don't know what the past tense is, we Uber Eats, whatever,
Eats.
Mc yeah, we past tense Uber Eats McDonald's to our hotel after we've all, like, showered and relaxed, and, like, so, like, we're all just kind of, like, sitting there and with the AC and the random Disney TV going on in the background, eating our McDoubles and french fries, and it's just, like, a fantastic combination to the end at, like, 1
Yeah.
AM.
No, no, I understand because, like, when we went to Miami a few years back, we got into the hotel not super late, I wanna say, like, 8 o'clock at night, but
Mhm.
by the time we had gone I mean, we had driven so many hours that day because we drove we stopped midway to go to the Kennedy Space Center, but
Yep.
the next day, we drove all the way down to Miami because we were spending
Mhm.
a couple days in Miami before the cruise, and the first thing we did when we got to our hotel in Miami, we ordered Cubanos to our
Nice.
hotel room. Authentic Cubanos, like, immediately.
That's what
The
you need.
best meal I've one of the best meals I've ever had. Because the next day we went to a Puerto Rican restaurant, which was very interesting because we had no idea what we ordered because we didn't realize we walked into a Spanish-only restaurant. So, like, the staff did not speak English,
Gotcha.
um, and there were no pictures on the menu. The food was amazing.
Ugh.
I still don't know what I ate.
That's okay.
But it was the
Sometimes that's the
best
best.
experience. It was the best experience in the world.
Mhm.
Um, I have thoughts on the hand, but I think we're gonna talk about that soon, so I'm just gonna skip over,
Yeah.
like, a thought with it because I know we're
Uh-huh.
gonna get in depth with this hand.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I was so happy to have escaped that giggle for a little while. Like, he kept doing it, I'm just like, "Rumple." At this point, too, it was when my daughter was like, "Is Rumple a good guy?" Because she was, like, watching with me this time, and I'm like, "Watch the show."
No.
And I also wrote, "Rumple, stop trapping women in your tower." Like, I Like, because they just stop.
But he can't. He just can't. It's something. It's the thing he does. Weirdly enough, that and giggling.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
I got excited. Fuck. I had a thought. I got excited for the broom. I was like, oh, I know that reference. The broom was cute. I was like, ooh, Anna has the dagger. Like, that was pretty interesting. Of course, it was a test. Like, I was like, I figured that out pretty quickly.
Yes, and she's playing into his hand very easily.
And then I wrote, only Anna would still say please.
Yes.
I love
yes,
her.
while she's using a mystical dagger that will make him do anything, and she still says please. Because
then,
unlike him, she's nice.
Exactly. And then lastly, I just wrote, I don't like this whole hand thing. I think that's it.
That's fair.
I don't like it. It's things.
It's yeah. So you want to do some fun facts? Will make you feel a little better?
Yeah, please get me away from a severed hand.
Well, a lot of weirdly enough, multiple fun facts relate to the hand.
Good God.
I'll save those for afterwards. The Apprentice's house is number 1940, which is the year that Disney released Fantasia.
Aw.
Like these are really good references. Obviously, he turns him into a mouse. That makes that's a reference to Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
And the sword that the Apprentice is using at the very beginning with Zoso is the same prop that Charming has after Regina sends everyone back to the Enchanted Forest at the beginning of season 3. And in other times that I couldn't mention because they'll be there in the future.
I'll see it in the future.
Yeah. And then also the last fun fact that's not hand related.
Oh God, it's a lot of hand. It
is a lot of hand related. Hook and Emma's first date is filmed. It was filmed in a restaurant in Steveston called Tapenade Bistro. See, it's meant that the theming of it is meant to be like Tony's from Lady and the Tramp. But the owner said that there were no alterations made to the restaurant's interior other than the tablecloths.
Oh, I like that.
So the restaurant just exists in Steveston, which I think is very cute. So I'll start with, do you want to start with the funny fun fact or do you want to end with the funny fun fact?
End with the funny. Let me get the torture done.
Okay, here we go. So in the section, obviously, after Hook realizes what the hand is doing to him, there was a sequence that was originally written in the script where Hook cut off the reattached hand with a meat cleaver or something sharp. But the network thought it was a little too dramatic and a little too dark, so they opted to not go with it.
You think?
Ironically, they're going to revisit that idea in season 5. Not with Hook, with somebody else in their hand. Weirdly enough.
Jesus. It makes me think of Severance, which is, I don't think you haven't watched that yet, but there's a scene.
I'm on episode 5, I think.
Oh, never mind. We are both watching that
season 1.
When Helly goes to.
Oh yeah, with the paper cutter.
I think we watched episode 6 of season 1 last night. I didn't know we were both watching that.
Yeah, that's a case of my best friend. I think I told you this. My best friend had tried to get me to watch it like a couple months ago.
Oh, so you'll watch shows for other people.
No, here's the thing though. No, I won't because she literally physically like sat me. I was in her apartment. I had nowhere else to go, so we watched the first episode.
If this is who I think it is, thank you.
But here's the thing though. I did not start watching it at all until press releases for season 2 started to come out.
See, and that's why we started watching it.
Gwendolyn Christie's going to be in season 2. That's why I started watching it again.
Really? Ooh, okay. Because we that became our puzzle movie or puzzle show. Okay. But we just finished a puzzle last night, so I got to start another puzzle so we can keep watching. Like it's actually ingrained in us now. We'll get the puzzle out and we turn on Severance, and I'm so confused. I have no idea what's actually going on, but it's so.
I've avoided all spoilers as best I can. Which is,
I don't know how we have. The only thing I have seen was just Ben Stiller being like really proud, like proud dad.
Yeah,
moment.
with the
he was so cute. But we've been watching that, and then we've also been watching The Pit on HBO.
Okay.
But that comes out every Thursday. I actually have not. I need to actually go and watch last week's Ghost. I haven't watched it yet.
It's good.
But no, like I love that we've both randomly started watching Severance at the same time and didn't know it.
I'm
like
very, very slowly. But again, this is my thing of
slowly.
I'm not watching it for some. Technically speaking, she got me started and it didn't land. I needed a press release with Gwendolyn Christie, and then I was starting it again.
That's fair, but it's so good.
Yeah. So last not funny fun fact about the hand. So this episode revealed that Mr. Goldrumple has kept the hand in his pawn shop. There has actually been a jar with a severed hand in the background multiple times before this.
And I've never seen it.
Neither have I, apparently.
I rarely pick up on these things.
So a few times that it was mentioned that we've seen it in either the pawn shop or actually in his castle. You can see it. It's sitting on a shelf in the pawn shop in season 2, episode. Oh god, this is episode 11, The Outsider. You can see
Damn.
it behind him while he's on the phone with Belle. In 112 Skin Deep, it's on a pedestal in his castle. It was even mentioned in the script where a withered hand is listed among the many objects in the Dark Castle. And lastly, the hand can also be spotted in the background when Emma and Hook return to the castle in the season 3 finale. There's no place like home.
I'm so mad now.
Mm-hmm.
I've never picked up on that.
Keep an eye out for it in the future because there were instances of it that I could see in the list I didn't take out
Okay.
in future episodes. So keep an eye out for it.
I'll keep an eye out for it. The severed hand.
The severed hand. So this is the last funny bit about it, and this isn't really. It's not. It's about the hand, but it's not about the hand. So the San Diego Comic-Con panel for after this season. So this was the 2015 one. So as you already know, a big part of the season is the author. So somebody, a fan, asked Colin if he could ask the author for anything in his life to improve his life. What would he ask the author to write for him? And at first he was like, "For me as a person," and everyone's like, "That's kind of deep." He's like, "I'm gonna answer as Captain Hook." And so
which is a good response.
It's a good response. I think that's a little easier. So he was like, "Please, Mr. Author, can I have my left hand back so I could feel things with my left hand?" And everyone just like started, because it's a very Colin response. But then Jen was like, "I'm blushing now." But then immediately after, he just went, "I didn't mean to make a joke there. I'm just incredibly funny."
Oh my god. I love him. Oh, he's the best.
He's just fantastic. So that's Mr. Colin O'Donoghue with, can he please have his hand back so he could feel things with his left hand?
And I thought this whole process with the hand was weird.
Mm-hmm.
To start with.
Yeah.
It actively angered me when we got to this point of like, oh no, you're wrong. This is just, it's placebo. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
It's a truthfully ridiculously stupid placebo effect. And
he could have still kept his hand.
He could have still, especially, I mean, he could have kept his hand. But this is my thing with the timing of the placebo effect. Because what Rumpel says is that this hand belongs to the man you used to be, a selfish pirate. Technically speaking, I would counter. The hand belongs to Killian from before Neverland. So it's really just, and Neverland is really where I would say he became more of a villain. He was an honorable thief, I would say, before that.
Mm-hmm.
So to say that, like, having this hand back, because it's because the hand is from before Mila died, and that's really where he went down his really darker path, I would say.
Yeah.
So to say that this hand is, going to bring out these dark tendencies of this, of this selfish pirate, especially given that we will see a flashback of him from before everything we've seen before. We will see an earlier flashback that's like after good form, but before.
So after he's lost his brother.
After he's lost his brother, before Mila runs away with him.
Okay. See, I mean, I want to see that. I want to see more of his timeline.
It's a very brief moment, an episode that's unfortunately mostly featured on Rumble, but Killian is in it. But he's such a bright spot in that episode. That episode.
If it's a Rumple heavy episode, anything else will probably be a bright spot in the episode.
That's coming to think of it, though, that episode really, it is Rumple heavy, but it's probably gonna get a pretty good score because it's got some great moments. But we see the honorable. I mean, I call him an honorable thief in that time because that's his whole thing is
mm-hmm.
We serve no king that's gonna make us do all this. Even among thieves there is honor, and especially because it's gonna see the first time him and Mila meet.
Oh, I like that,
and it's a really, really good moment.
Okay, I'm excited.
So, especially knowing that, I'm like, the man he was before he lost his hand was not evil, was not a villain. He was not a hero, but he wasn't really doing anything terrible. I would say the selfish pirate is really after Mila.
Okay.
So that's why, the hand thing to me feels even more of a stupid placebo effect, because if we really think about the timing of it, he wasn't really that dark and bad before he lost his hand.
Because I had this moment too. I was just like, well, if killing can change as a person, wouldn't the hand eventually also change? And then I just was like, I can't. I literally wrote down, I was like, this is so weird, and I can't believe I wrote that sentence.
It's not a cursed hand.
It's not a cursed hand. No, that was before I realized it wasn't cursed.
Yeah.
But
no, I know.
It was all so just dumb and annoying, and I needed them to give us more. I get he's Captain Hook. He needs to have his hook, but it's Once Upon a Time.
Yeah.
our beast isn't a beast. Like, Hook can have his hand back.
The evil queen isn't evil anymore.
Yeah, like, why not just, like, because I don't think his Hook is that big of a deal to keep around. We know who he is as a person,
Exactly.
and he's gonna have it in flashbacks.
Especially because he's gonna have it in flashbacks, and especially in this episode when he has his hand back, he says to Emma, like, when she says, "What am I supposed to call you now, Captain Hand?" And he
Mhm.
says, "Killian will do." Like, for the most part, that's who he is to her now, is Killian, whether he has the hook or not. That's who he is. That's who he is going forward. He can be that with his hand, and, like, I would make a slight comment on ableism if we weren't gonna see something really ridiculous towards the middle of this season.
Oh, fair.
That's not but to be fair, though, that's not a concern of theirs.
Yeah.
'Cause we're gonna see Rumpel quite literally when he has when he has his magic, throw the cane. He doesn't need it.
No, he doesn't. Like, and there we have this issue. It looks like it's an ongoing issue within Once Upon
Yeah.
a Time when it comes to that. And, like, yeah, I know I'm sitting here like, he can have his hand, it's fine. But that's only because it's still there. Yes, it was taken from him and he's figured things out without it. But, like, that's just the story of Captain Hook. I don't really see
Mhm.
why it's not a bad thing. Like, I don't see why it's not okay for him to at least have his hand back, because it's written into the story that he can have it back, even though it is by
Especially, yeah.
magic.
Now that we
Like,
have written into the now that they've
yeah.
added into the world building, that's a possibility.
It's a possibility. And, like, while I have issues a lot with stories that decide to heal disability with magic, I don't see it exactly that way with Hook,
Yeah.
because of how it just because of the world building, I think.
Mhm.
Because yes, usually if, like, and that's why I think that does bug me. That does bug me with Rumple, the fact that, like, or Gold, let's be specific. Gold in
Yeah.
his cane. He does not need it.
Mhm.
He uses it. And it isn't the case of invisible disability or anything like that. He is not disabled.
No, it was built into the world building at the beginning of season 3 that in a land without magic, he does not need his cane.
Yeah, so I'm really confused by that one, but,
Or land with magic, I should say.
yeah, yeah. So, I don't know, this episode bugged me quite a bit just on that front, but other than that,
Yeah.
I love that they got their first date, it was cute,
Yeah.
and, like, everything else, and, Rumple's still evil because
Mhm.
it's
I
fucking
mean,
Rumpelstiltskin.
like I texted you yesterday when you're complaining about the
Mhm.
evil hand, like, it was giving me the vibes of the first song from a Harry Potter sequel, which is
Yeah.
"Evil plans, we are doing evil plans, evil deeds with evil hands."
God, I haven't watched that
That
in years.
neither have I, but that's
Like,
what it
well
is.
over a decade was the last time I watched those.
That's fair. But, yeah, my notes are like I've gone through a good chunk of my rants. I like we're gonna see more of that world building of the Apprentice's relationship to the Dark One in season 5.
It's
Um
interesting.
Because it makes me wonder how much of the season 5 they maybe had as a back burner thought. Like, I know they planned things in advance ahead of time. That might have been a little too far in advance. Maybe it's also a case of, I know we talk about the world building, and sometimes it's not the best, but there are times where, like, the world building is so solid, it makes it seem like things were planned out earlier than they were.
Yeah, I have to agree
So
with
I
that.
I don't know what the case is there, but that's a conversation for the beginning of season 5 anyway. Uh,
Yeah.
I love when he goes to pick her up for the date. Everything else aside, I did love Elsa's comment of, "Is that just the corset? Where's the rest of it?"
Mhm. That was cute.
Like,
I really enjoyed that part.
yeah. And then when he picks her up, Emma's like, "Let's get you out the door," before David decides to give you his overprotective dad speech. Like, "Well, you can spare yourself the trouble, mate. I assure you, your daughter couldn't be in better hands." That's exactly what worries me, especially now that you have 2 of them.
Which is just so funny because, like, I mean, I know David and Snow worry, but, like,
Yeah.
they got a baby now. Like,
Mhm.
Emma's in her it's a little old for y'all to be doing that. Like, I know it's their first experience with this with her and everything, and it is
Mhm.
very sweet, and I do enjoy that. Like, especially Snow taking the picture. Like, it's
Yeah.
very cute, but at the same time, I'm like, and I love it. She's like, "Oh, I gotta move out," and I'm like, "Dude, you're not going anywhere."
Well, it was like she said, "I really need my own place," like, enough times that it almost felt like that's where they were gonna be going with this season,
Yeah.
which they don't. But I mean, to be fair, like, with Snow and Charming and, like, their reaction to Emma's date, I mean, yes, I think they can kind of let up on the overprotectiveness, but I did think that it was very appropriate that their responses at the very end was Snow being very excited, like, "No, where'd you go? Did you go anywhere after? Was there a goodnight kiss?" And he's like, for example, "One of the things I don't wanna know." Like, he
Mhm.
just honestly, like, I'm sure if it were up to them, they would just assume that Henry was immaculate conception, because it's when
Right?
your parents don't wanna think about that.
No, my own parents are just like, we don't, y'all, that these children just appeared out
Well,
of
that's like what
nowhere."
that's what always makes me, like, confused a little bit about straight culture when, like,
Yes.
people are like, "Before marriage, no, none of that, nothing," and then immediately as soon as you're married, "So when are you giving us grandkids?" As if they don't know how those grandkids have to happen, so it's like, it feels like you're just asking your family members to do it.
And then you have family members that don't care, like, in straight culture and make the most obscene jokes, and you're just kinda sitting there like, "Can we please not talk about this?"
Yeah.
Like, I love my family. My dad has made some jokes and comments to my husband before that I'm like, "Can you not?"
No.
But, like, no, straight which is so weird being in a heteronormative relationship, but not being straight,
Yeah.
because I get all those things said to me, and then I'm looking at them like, "Why are you so weird?" Like,
Why
I
is this
don't think like that.
why is this happening?
'Cause I've made jokes before that, like, once my children understand, I will be that person to flat out be like, "You if you wanna leave, now's the time. I'm gonna go do this."
Mhm.
I like, because it's a normal thing.
Yeah.
It's normal, it's
Mhm.
natural. I'm not everyone does it, but most people do it
Mhm.
because there are people that don't do
Yep.
it, which is also normal.
Mhm.
So, like, it's just a thing. Like, can
Yeah.
you chill? But then at the same time, maybe don't make weird comments about your child doing it.
Yeah, that's probably
It's
for the
weird.
best. It's for
It's
the best.
weird. So it's a straight culture's weird, man.
Yeah. Speaking of straight culture, although to be fair, I mean, I say speaking of straight culture as if I haven't said in the past that both Emma and Killian are the bisexual aesthetic.
Yeah, oh,
Um, th they
100%.
they so much are, like, coded as,
That's
like,
why
the
the
2
dress
bis
doesn't make sense.
I would agree. It's too straight for Emma Swan.
It's too straight.
But I wrote down, after when Killian offers
Oh
to get
god,
drinks
there's
and
the
em
title.
what
Sorry.
what wait, what did you say?
I was like, "It's too straight." There's the title.
When Killian's offering to get drinks and I was like, "I'm gonna stay, sober tonight," which I think is, for a multitude of reasons, probably the right choice, and he went,
Yes.
You a bit worried you'll find me even more irresistible after a few libations," and then I wrote, "What is that face that he makes? That's that weird smolder that he made." I was like, "Dude."
That's the hand. We're gonna blame
It's
it on the hand.
we're gonna blame that yeah, we're gonna blame that smolder on the hand.
The not cursed hand that he just doesn't know.
Yes, the placebo hand.
Oh, fucking Christ.
But but I
I do
did
this
like
voluntarily.
you do this voluntarily. I liked though, when Will rushes past them and knocks the server into them and
Mhm.
spills the water on Emma, her going really, like, the way she does it is a callback to the pilot when the guy that she's on the date with, that's the mark, flips the table and spills the wine on her and she goes, "Really?" Like, it's
Yeah.
I loved that. It's such a small moment, but I'm like, "Ah, I see what you do there. Even if it wasn't intentional, you did it."
I did enjoy the 2. She's just like, there's an ice wall around the town. He can't get away. I'll find him eventually."
Exactly. And, like, the way that Killian responds of, like, grabbing him and, like, apologize lady, that didn't seem it felt a little aggressive, but, like,
It still
not
felt
s
Killian.
it felt Killian, like, just defending her honor kind of thing. That felt appropriate for him
Well,
with or
even
without the
him
hand.
punching the guy, I was like, "Nope, still Killian."
Yeah. And also, Will kinda deserves it.
Exactly. So I just maybe that's why I was so confused through this too, of, like, why it's so weird. I'm like, he's not I mean, except for, of course, helping Gold out.
Mhm.
Apart from that, like, everything made sense.
Yeah. This this episode is just it's a lot of blackmail. I wrote, there is too much blackmail and lying for one episode.
Yeah, too much.
It's
It's
just
just
because
it's like back and forth, back and forth, back and
no,
forth, and you're just like,
exactly.
"Pick one."
It's just that's all that it is the blackmail, and it's like that
Mhm.
we need a stronger device than, "I'm gonna tell your wife about you," and then you're like, "Oh, no, you can't, because 'cause you'll never know if it's real, and now I'm not on the tape, but you are." Like, it's so much, although you'll appreciate this, when Killian's asking him to take the hand off or to whatever, and, like, he's like, "I'll find a way," and Rumple goes, My magic put it on, only my magic can take it off," and I just wrote, "Kinky."
Yeah, yeah, it's kinky. Which is funny though with the whole VHS. We were in a Goodwill this
Yeah.
past weekend. They had an entire wall of mostly Disney VHSs.
Oh,
I
nice.
I literally looked at my husband. I was like, "Can we get a VCR? I will buy these." And we didn't. I didn't bring them home. But my daughter just looks up and goes, "What are those?"
Hmm.
I literally took, I think it was a Fern Gully or something off of the thing.
Ferngully.
I opened it up and I showed her a VHS tape for the first time, and she goes, "That seems excessive." Like, she's like, "That's too much." And I was like, "Yeah, you had to put it in, you had to rewind it and everything." She's just like,
Mhm.
"It's so big." And to the point, this is
Yes.
the same child that when we finally got our DVD player, I had to
Mhm.
explain to her a DVD.
Mm.
Like, being a parent hurts in this day and age. Like,
Yeah.
I had to explain DVDs. Now she's seen VHSs. She loves the record player, so that one she understands.
There you go.
I need to find a floppy disk.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine?
You know what? I think that might break her.
That might break her. But apparently seeing the Snow Queen also broke her.
And that's how we know your child is one of us.
Dude, she was so cute because like she comes in the frame and she goes, "Who's that?" I'm like, "Oh, she's like, is that the Ice Queen?" I just let that fly, and I go,
Uh-huh.
"Yeah." She goes, "Ooh, she's pretty," just like
She
that.
she's in like 3 seconds of the entire episode.
I know, and that's what she pinpointed on. I was like, "I love my kid."
Yeah. Your kid knows what's what.
One of us, one of
One of
us.
us. Because yeah, this is like I said, this is definitely an episode that like Ingrid is on the back burner right now.
Yeah,
Like she like for all intents and purposes, if it didn't have such kind of important plot for the Hat and the Apprentice and Anna in Arendelle, I would call this episode filler. There's just enough plot to keeping it from being filler, even
yeah,
though the plot it's focusing on is mostly the season wide plot, not the
yeah.
arc plot.
But it's so interesting. I don't mind. Like the hand stuff is annoying, yes, but all the
Yes.
sorcerer end of it, like all of
Hmm.
that, is so interesting, and it's enjoyable to watch Rumpel get so frustrated that
Yeah.
Anna besting him. Like it was really good, and I love, of course, that the Sorcerer's Apprentice like helps as a mouse and everything else. Like there's
Yeah.
got really great parts of it, and then you have
Hmm.
Hand.
Hand.
Like it it's
Hmm.
Once Upon a Time. Like that's
It,
really
yeah.
what it is.
No, it is. And we did like so we did actually this is probably the only time we ever hear Ingrid's so this is where Ingrid's Storybrooke alias comes from, Sarah Fisher. I was like, okay, so it is mentioned somewhere in the show. People didn't just
Mhm,
make it up because like to be fair with this show, there are times where like we pull things off of the IMDb. Like we all knew her name was Ruth before it was said in season 4.
mhm.
Like so like we just pulled it off the IMDb. But like for a
It
while
is funny that it's something that you didn't actually pinpoint to start with, though. You're like, "Where did this come from?" And then now this episode happens. You're like, "Oh," and you've watched it how many times?
this season I haven't watched as many times. Like basically we're getting to the point where I've seen these seasons far less than the first few.
Mhm. It's kinda like
Just
us
for
and Bob's Burgers. We're nearing what I've seen less of.
yeah, and for a while though, but also for a while I skipped most of 4A. I basically just watched 410, and I would start with 410 and to go through the rest because it was go through the rest of the season because it was before I did like I'm gonna do my statistical analysis rewatch, like really watch this stuff. Like I I just kind of remember like oh I don't remember really liking this. I'm not gonna watch it, and so I just would
Mhm.
skip it. So it's a case of like I've seen the second half of season 4 way more times than I think I've seen the first half, but like I do really enjoy it now.
Is it more enjoyable doing this with me?
Yes, because I get to I have a,
An outlet that's not Tumblr?
yes, an outlet that's not Tumblr, an outlet that's not TikTok, and an outlet where I feel okay and validated in my she's a pretty lady with a sparkly dress, and I
Mhm.
have feelings.
Apparently my daughter would also agree. I love this. Like, we're not alone. We all agree that she's so pretty.
Elizabeth Mitchell, very pretty.
Mhm.
So, what did you rate The Apprentice?
So, I gave plot a 7
Okay.
because it's got some good,
Mhm.
but it's got the hand
Yeah.
and the giggle and the rumple and the it's god damn it. And,
That
so
wasn't
it's not
intentional, but
I
this is
know,
what
but you
happened.
did it. So, like, the plot is good in
Yeah.
so many aspects, but I have too many problems to give it higher than a 7.
Okay.
But character and personal have 8,
Okay.
so it's a 23 total.
All right. That's solid score. I gave plot an 8 for pretty much the same reason. Is just
Okay.
placebo hand couldn't don't really care. Don't really care that much. But similarly, I gave character a 7 because of the fact that the crux of this episode is blackmail and lying and Killian believing that a hand that was his before he was really super dark could make him to start punching people. Um, but it does have a lot of very enjoyable moments, which is why it gets a 9 for personal. So this one gets a 24. So I'm really only off by 1 point.
No, not bad.
Not at all. But I did want to talk a little bit about Will because while he's not super important at all, ever really in this season. No, literally, I found an article that he did an interview after he left the show. And he basically said, he's like, I was very redundant when I came on this. Like, my character is filled with other characters. I don't know why I was there, kind of thing.
Yeah,
So even he
I
kind of,
mean, the Alice in Wonderland little thing that they did there was interesting,
yeah.
but
Well, that's the thing of like, if you hadn't seen Once in Wonderland, you don't really know why he pulled out that book or why that page is very important. Because he's not only is he Will Scarlet from
mhm.
Robin Hood and the Merry Men, he's also the Knave of Hearts. He's a character in Wonderland. And so we're gonna hear some stuff about his backstory that again I can't corroborate because I didn't watch the show. So we're gonna see more stuff about his background in 417 Heart of Gold. Um, but the basic thing I can tell you that would be context from the show is the page he pulled out is the Red Queen, separate from the Queen of Hearts. She's different, a different character.
Oh,
They
okay.
she kind of they kind of added some more world things to that. So, but the Red Queen, she's kind of mentored by Korra a little bit.
I feel like I need to watch it just to get through the fever dream to have more understanding of this character, but, like,
He's this thing is he's not
it's
important
one
enough.
season, right?
He's not important enough to really, you know,
Yeah. But
warrant
it
watching the
was
entire
only one
show.
season, right?
Yeah, it was only one season, but she was his true love, and he felt like he lost her to a variety of things. That's why he's drunk and doing bad
Okay.
things, and
I'm not
that's what
surprised it only got one season then,
it it didn't land, and it wasn't in a very good time slot to get viewers.
which does matter.
It does. I think it
Well,
was on
used to.
Wednesdays. Okay, for network television, it
Mhm.
matters.
Look, all I know is I'm glad it's not a Station 19 situation. Like, we gave up watching Grey's Anatomy because of Station 19.
Yeah, no, this is not a case where, like, you need to have seen every show to understand it. It's a case of if you wanna understand Will's story better, then maybe watching Once in Wonderland is worth it, but, like, he's really not important enough to warrant watching an
Yeah,
entire season of a show. But soon, next week, a lot more Ingrid,
I'm okay with this.
and I'm very much excited for the next episode, which unfortunately, I mean, for everybody listening, will be next week. For us, it'll be in 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's break time.
We're taking a little break. Life's a little busy.
In our defense, we took an impromptu 3 weeks off in October of 2024.
This one's at least planned.
We have not stopped recording since because
No.
we lost those 3. Y'all, we literally recorded on Christmas Eve. Like,
No, but honestly
we
though,
kept to our schedule through the holidays. We're
I
getting a break.
I no, we need a break, but also I counted our episodes, because of the way that we record specials and the way that those go into our schedule. Since those at 3-week break, we've more than made up for it.
Oh, that's good.
Like by the time we're done with tonight, because tonight we're recording extra
Mhm.
episodes, we will be back at a 13-week bank.
Oh, yeah, we deserve a break. We
Uh-huh.
deserve a break. We're taking a break. Which
For a
it's not that
multitude.
we don't it's not that we wanna stop, it's just, like, life, we can't do this every single week. We've gotta life happens,
Life, yeah, like life is certainly happening.
which is good.
Like it's as it should.
Thank you all for listening. Join us next time when we discuss Bob's Burgers Season 7, Episode 21, Paraders of the Lost Float, and Episode 22, Into the Mild. Don't forget to like, rate, and follow the podcast wherever you listen so you can be notified every time we publish a new episode. Follow us at OBDYK_pod on Instagram and Blue Sky. If you'd like to join our Patreon, you can find the link with more details in our show notes.
This has been an episode of Okay, But Did You Know? A TV and media podcast. It was hosted by Lauren and Katie and edited by Lauren.